I'm recording too. So
why don't we do that?
Your friend, the postman, wants to know why we don't just what?
So, you know how like our phones have these features called screen record, brother?
No.
That is, it'll just like record what you do on the screen.
I don't know if my phone has that feature, but
You can make a funny video like going from ESPN.com right to Pornhub after a win or a loss, depending on what kind of vibe you're trying to create. But you know what I mean? Like, screen record is this new feature that phones have, and it's funny. Jokes abound. But he said, the postman did, when I told him about our podcast, that what we were doing was stupid, recording our ends of each phone conversation and then splicing them together when we could just record the whole thing in one go and then post it right away.
All right, well, consider the postman's complaint lodged and consider me moving on to FedEx from here on out.
Wait a minute. Let me just try and wrap my head around this invective. You're saying that he's wrong and that the audio quality would be too bad to post to like something like iTunes?
I mean, I don't know.
Am I hearing you right?
I haven't really put that much thought into it. This is just the way that it always made sense to me. I think it's better. I think it's better audio when we record two separate audio tracks and when we're together, we're just passing the phone back and forth.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm on a high-end microphone right now, or at least like a decent microphone.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is...
Which is important because I'm the voice of reason on this podcast. It's fine for you to record on your cell phone because, I don't know, something about how it compresses your vocals during your tirades amplifies the problematic aspects of it. So I think it heightens
the problematic aspects of what? All right, if I'm going to go down this path, we're going to get real grammatical because I don't understand what you're saying anymore. No, I don't want to do this. I just want to say that I'm sure all of our listeners really appreciate the diligent work you put into making this conversation audio high quality. Like, just like your records and songs, it's so important for this to have crisp audio. So thank you.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I don't think anyone would listen to us if I think they're tuning in for the audio quality.
All right, well, did you tell the postman that?
No, because I actually can't verify whether or not his method would produce the same audio quality.
It's sort of a moot point. Just tell the postman to mind his own business next time.
I don't have many friends out here.
Well, I can't imagine why.
Cross me up! Don't snap, don't breathe, just leave me up your skin. And baby, begin!
Good afternoon, Max and listeners of the Phone Wallet Keys David Ortiz podcast. This is season 2, episode 3 by my calculations.
Which are insane and arbitrary. It's the same season, everybody. We're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop this right now. We've all had our fun these last 2 weeks, but it's over. There's no new season.
Well, in part, I did it because we did take a break, but also I did it because I was actually pretty confused about what episode we were on. This was just a nice way to reset. But actually, what's more likely to happen is season 2, if it exists, will be what happens if the Boston Slam, like post Boston Slam, either happening or not happening. And spoiler alert, it's not going to happen. So the Celtics and the Bruins played last night at the same exact time. Did you watch one or the other?
Yeah, I did watch one over the other. I've been trying to say this
damn
to you
it.
all season,
Yeah.
and it really, I don't like being right about this. I mean, I like that you're wrong in general, but I wish I wish I wasn't right that this Celtics team is fatally flawed
They
and deeply
suck.
fucked.
They fucking suck. And they've sucked all season long.
And they've sucked all season long, and they haven't been fun.
I know. They're not fun. And here's the really frustrating part about it is that this is way bigger than the Celtics in this season. This is now about the Boston Slam and the Revolution, and they have the fucking talent to be good enough, and they also have the revolutionary posture, like
Chops.
They should.
Yeah, they have Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and even Kyrie should understand the importance of this, and kind of, I think Kyrie wants the revolution, be friends of the revolution, but he can't fucking score more than 20 points in a must-win playoff game. It's ridiculous.
There are some serious flaws. Can you just imagine? Can we look? I was listening to early season tapes about what we should do. Like, should we go after Jimmy Butler? Should we go after Kawhi Leonard?
Oh my God, we should have traded for Kawhi Leonard. Jesus Christ.
Even if we had only it would have been. I don't think Kawhi is going to stay in Toronto. If he stays in Toronto, I'm going to be so disappointed because we could have had him.
He's not going to stay in Toronto. But even if he did stay in Toronto, even if he was just for a 1-year rental, again,
right? If we trade Jason Tatum for a 1-year rental of Kawhi and all 4 major sports teams win championships,
right.
That's
fine.
worth it.
That's fine, yeah.
It's the specter of the Boston Slam is it's just the magnitude is so incredible. Every title, I mean, there are some cities in America right now that would I've been there, who would do crazy things and make crazy deals
for one title. I know.
And I am now I really think the Bruins, whom I watched last night because they are playoff hockey is amazing, as you keep saying. It's just now that I have you going, I'm just so into it.
I'm so
because
into it too.
Some of our listeners too are contacting me being I have now started watching playoff hockey.
Good.
And thank you.
Good. They should. You all, if you're listening to this podcast, watch a playoff hockey game, just a little bit, and you'll be sold. And the Bruins are really good. They're probably going to win the Stanley Cup. But
right, and it kind of doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it sucks. Who cares about a Stanley Cup if it doesn't also come with a championship?
Because we're so close to the mountaintop, and I see it receding before me.
It sucks. So would you give up? So you I think I agree. I would trade Tatum for a 1-year rental of Kawhi because we could win the it's now clear that you can't win a championship if Kyrie Irving is your best player, but you definitely can if Kawhi is your best player, and if Kyrie is your second best player, then you're looking at a team for the ages, a team that could absolutely win the championship. And so, yeah, would you give up?
I think it's fair to say that a team of Al Horford, Kawhi Leonard, Jaylen Brown, and Kyrie Irving win the championship this year.
Yeah, I would have traded exactly Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward straight up for Kawhi. Whatever. What else would you I don't give a fuck that the Red Sox are the worst team in baseball. I really
They're
don't
not
care.
even. They've been playing better.
It doesn't bother me one bit. I know, which sucks. Very selfish of them.
I don't think that this whole
there's
could you
only
break
so
down
much
your
karma to
karmic
go around.
argument? I don't think. Wait, stop.
Yes, there's
look,
a
you have to explain this. You have to lay it out. This is not something we talked about last week. And your tweet about karma is Orientalist. So please just don't use that word.
Wait, what? What's a non-appropriative term for karma that I can use?
I don't know, but
Juju? No.
That's fine.
Juju's got to be
that's
worse,
fine.
right?
That's fine. Please use Juju. Just walk down the street saying Juju a lot. No, I would not do that. I do not advocate for that. I'm kidding. That's I was just trying to talk you into a bad idea. But yeah, no, I don't think juju is better than karma.
So
Wins.
I don't know how I can proceed. What?
Wins.
Not wins. It's not how it works. No, that's not how it works. It's not wins.
Okay, fine. Use
There's
karma, but then also
Thank you. Jesus, back off.
perform direct action against Burning Man, you hippie.
Perform direct action against Burning Man? I
Just
don't
go on. Keep talking about
want to
karma.
unpack that. I don't think that that's a thread that we should necessarily lose because I think that's but I know that I just don't have it in me to imagine that, and you probably have already performed several different direct actions against Burning Man in your life.
You can't imagine a single direct action against Burning Man?
I
think this speaks to the sort of like
that's like your sixth sense.
The degradation of the
Speaks
left involves like not just like its size and numbers and power, but also its imagination.
Look, there's only so much sports karma that can possibly exist in any given city. And what we're attempting to do with the Boston Slam right now is truly unprecedented, and it's never happened before in history. And it's a very delicate balance that we have to strike, where all of our teams will be the champions at the same time. And when the Red Sox were the worst team in baseball, but the Celtics and the Bruins were making a strong run in the first round, and everything was fine. And then the Red Sox have snapped out of their skid just in time for the Celtics to start fucking sucking in the second round. So, I mean, it's not even some like heady, deep concept. It's just that the Red Sox, they're all playing at the same time right now. The Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics. And there's no way that they can all just be winning at the same time. The Red Sox are already the champions. So this whole thing ends in June.
Speaking of the Red Sox being champions, brother, have you seen this shit about what's going on with the White House?
Oh, with the Red Sox, the players visiting the White House?
Well, as you know, and everyone who's listening to this, one of the treats about becoming, being a Boston sports team is that after you win the championship, you get to go to the White House.
Yes, ordinarily that is a treat, I guess. I mean,
right? Ordinarily
not.
That's a treat, except for now there's like a white supremacist in the White House, you know? So no one wants to go visit, except for actually, unfortunately, the white players on the Red Sox.
Right. So because Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, just came out this week saying that he's not going to go. It was kind of up in the air.
He said, as a Puerto Rican man who has sat by and watched a president lie and belittle, I don't think he said this part, but he said, I just can't go as a Puerto Rican and see him. It would just be too hard for me.
And I think also like David Price has come out saying like that he's definitely not going. And
Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts, all of the black and players of color, including our manager, are not going, which makes the decision of those who are going seem completely unacceptable, and we as Bostonian brothers must drag them face down on the internet pavement. So every white player who is going to the White House, in my opinion, is like is a scab and is not joining the righteous protests of the good Red Sox players who are I mean, it's not like anyone's like telling them not to go, but they shouldn't have to. Right? Like, that's what we want to see. That's what I want to see.
I'm with you, yeah. They are the white scabs of the Boston Red Sox, and they should be made to pay the
White Sox. The loser White Sox. So I hope in the coming days people mount a real pressure campaign. I guess we should do this on Twitter. We should just cyberbully Chris Sale until he starts pitching well and stops going to visit Donald Trump.
Well, I don't want Chris Sale to start pitching well because I don't want the Red Sox to start winning right now. Couldn't care fucking less, and they need to keep, as far as I'm concerned, they need to keep losing until we figure out this Boston Slam thing once and for all.
Right. Okay. I believe that too.
But it basically seems, I mean, the Celtics are down 3-1. We're not, and we suck, so we're not going to pull this off. And we now need to start anticipating, unless there's some miracle turnaround, which just, there's nothing to believe.
We should spend a few minutes on the miracle turnaround and what that will look like, just in case it happens. Like, one of us should quickly Google the miracle turnaround that the Kyrie Irving-led Cavaliers pulled when they were down 3-1 against the best team ever, the Warriors. You know what I mean?
We should just look Kyrie was the second best player on that team, and LeBron. Right. And they had LeBron James.
James was really, really good.
We don't have LeBron James. We have just Kyrie. And like, remember that thing in 2004 where it's like Kevin Millar talking when the Sox were down 3-0, and he's like, just don't let us win tonight, because if we win tonight, then we have Pedro going in Game 5 and Schilling in Game 6, and then anything could happen in Game 7. And it was just like, oh yeah, that is the blueprint, kind of. Like, I don't think that blueprint exists unless it's just like don't let us win on Wednesday, like, because then maybe Giannis will get hurt or something.
Right, that's a possibility.
And even when Giannis was in foul trouble last night. They
last
went on a
night
run.
they wanted us to
and
win, and we couldn't do it
in the third quarter.
I agree. Last night they wanted us to win, and we still couldn't do it.
The Celtics are garbage, and they're not going to win this series against the Milwaukee Bucks. So this is the last podcast that we can even keep up the pretense in which the Boston Slam might happen this year.
Well, that's not true. The Celtics, I think we should spend some time talking about the Boston Slam, because the Bruins won last night, advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Bruins are probably going to win the Stanley Cup. They're so good. They look amazing.
They're so good, and it's such a likable team. They try so hard. They work together. They really care about each other. They when they go down, they rally together and come back, which would be nice if the Celtics could.
They try really hard. Wait, also just another thing in our series of in our segments about why hockey is amazing. That was fucking crazy last night. The Bruins won in Columbus, eliminating the Columbus Blue Jackets. And first of all,
the crowd behaved
line up. First of all, the players line up and shake each other's hands. You
didn't know this about playoff hockey, everybody?
I just forgot. Yeah, so in hockey is by far the most vicious sport, and they're really it's like they're brutally assaulting each other game in and game out, and then they all shake hands, which is cool. And then the Columbus fans were giving these amazing cheers. They were still as it was over, there was 3-0 with a minute left, and they were chanting CBJ, which I guess is Columbus Blue Jackets.
There you go.
After everyone lined up and shook hands, the players on the Blue Jackets went out to the ice and were doing hurrah, they were saluting the crowd with their hands together and raising it, and the crowd was cheering after they had just lost.
It's kind of hard to imagine that if the Celtics somehow extend this series and force a Game 6 and lose on the home floor, that the crowd would do the same thing for them.
No, the crowd would boo them like they booed them last night, and in part because we demand excellence in Boston. We're not going to be happy with
the specter of the Boston Slam has completely warped me. It's completely warped me. Right now, I mean, it's just so funny because there are cities in this country, in this, and not just this country, and on this continent, that would absolutely riot completely if they won one championship. If Toronto won a championship, if Montreal won a championship, if Buffalo, New York won a championship, they would burn that motherfucker, those cities to the ground. It would be it would be a cool riot, you know? And then all the fans afterwards would like feel guilty and help clean up like Vancouver. I don't know. But I feel like that, like, I think the Bruins are going to win the Stanley Cup. Like they look like they're going to win.
It will mean nothing if it's not accompanied by a Celtics championship.
That's insane, brother. That is like the decadent West personified.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what you're going to say, right?
I was going to say I don't feel like my team is on the cusp of another world championship. Like, it's awesome. I love this team. I love the core of Bruins players that have been there for like a decade, like Patrice Bergeron and Zdeno Chara, Tuukka Rask, Brad Marchand,
what a game.
David Krejci.
Yeah, Krejci also was incredible last night.
I love our young defensemen. I love Torrey Krug. I love Carlo Callo. But I don't feel like a man on the cusp of a championship. I feel like the Celtics, I feel just so disappointed that the Celtics aren't going to keep this dream alive for another week. They won the first game, and everyone was just like, and they had just like come off a sweep of Indianapolis. And it was like, wow, this is so great. They like playoff Celtics. We shouldn't have worried at all. But really, this team has been telling us who they were all year long. And I don't know, brother. I feel like this conversation is a little unstructured, which is, you know, between you and me, a knock on you.
How dare you? Look, it's insane that we're on the cusp of revolutionary greatness, and it seems like not only do the Celtics as a team have enough talent to compete for the championship, but they also have players who have individual temperaments.
A lot of people are saying that everyone in Boston hates Kyrie, his teammates hate Kyrie, and there's no way he's coming back to the Celtics after this year.
Well, people are saying that now because he's just like, he's in the midst of the worst playoff run individually in his career at a time when he was, for the first time ever, he's like in the playoffs as the best player on the team. And he's been saying all season long, just wait until the playoffs, then we're really going to show up and you'll see like playoff Kyrie is really different than what you got. It's just like, and I'm just kind of like, I don't like, fuck you. You suck. He had the first quarter of game 1 of this series. He was really fun to watch. And since then he's been fucking drag.
This Celtics team doesn't seem like they like each other. And unlike like this Bruins team really seems like they like each other. And the contrast is hard to ignore.
Yeah. Okay, but I think we should wait to talk about what went wrong with the Celtics, or like what is a potential fix going forward, because there is still it's Tuesday now. So this podcast will hopefully go up on, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, which is the day of the game, right? I think game 5 is on Wednesday.
Game 5 is on Wednesday.
So there is still a chance
that we win game 5
and game 6 and game 7. And then win the Eastern Conference Finals and win the championship. And the Boston Slam will... Like, there were times in this Patriots season where it didn't seem like we had what it takes to go all the way. There was times with the Red Sox...
Yeah, and
where it seemed like
we were worried about the Astros. We were terrified of the Astros.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
We never quite hit a point where we were down 3-1 in a series. Or the equivalent in football. So, I mean,
football's one and done. One loss and you're out.
Yeah, but like if we were never like down a whole bunch of points in the third quarter or something, or the fourth quarter.
we were trailing in the fourth quarter to the Chiefs though.
What'd you say?
I said we were trailing in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs though.
But we were within striking distance. Right now, the Celtics don't even feel like they were within striking distance of the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks.
That's true.
Outclassing us. The Bruins won. We love hockey.
All right, I want to start the whole podcast over, Sam.
All right, go ahead.
We should just start this whole episode over.
It's been just such mumbo jumbo, just jumping back and forth like a bunch of fucking like we're like freeballing it too much. We need to like put on some like constrictive underwear and have a structured conversation.
Yeah, like normally people tune into our podcast because they can kind of see the fruition of the week of planning that we've put into it, the outline, the research that we've been doing, and
well, they usually tune in for the witty banter, but the last 20 minutes hasn't had any of that either. It's been just pure stream of consciousness about the Celtics and Bruins, and we should break it down. So, everybody, here's the breakdown. Last night, 3 teams from Boston were playing, all at 7 p.m. The World Championship winning Red Sox, the Boston Bruins, and the Boston Celtics, who Sam is willing to demote to like the Worcester Celtics at this point.
Yeah. Maybe the Boston Slam was never about basketball anyway. It was like the New England Revolution is the 4th team that we're looking for. When's their season? The soccer team.
It's just started.
I'm just saying, maybe that was it. Maybe basketball doesn't even
They
count.
suck.
The Revolution?
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of our team in Boston, by the way, folks, if you're confused.
Our soccer team.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Revolution game?
Yeah, I have. Have you?
Yeah.
Great line of pursuit.
I haven't been twice. No,
All right,
should talk. So we should talk about which game we decided to watch last night and why.
Yeah. I
So-
bet it's.
I mean, you who have been championing the Celtics all season long and been like, like offering your scatterbrain analysis, frankly, for both seasons of our podcast. You gave up.
I watched.
Right? You watched the
No,
Bruins, didn't you?
No. I had the Celtics on I watched at Joe Valley's brother's house, Bill, and we had the Celtics on the television, and then we were streaming the Bruins on the computer next to the television. And there were moments like during power plays or kind of like at halftime or long timeouts and stuff, we would flip to the Bruins, but the Celtics were the main viewing experience, much to Joe and Bill's chagrin. I think they were both more into the hockey. The Valley they're a hockey family. The Valley's from Swampscott.
Yeah, I watched the hockey game. I had already decided the Celtics had shown me who they were, and it turns out I was right. Though I did turn, after the Bruins game was in hand, I did switch over for the part of the fourth quarter when we went from being down by 10 to quickly being down by 5, and then we grabbed a rebound, and Kyrie Irving dished to Marcus Morris, and if he had hit the 3, he would have brought the entire house down.
Yeah, there was a couple
but
moments
instead
where we
he
came
missed
within
the
5.
3, and then fucking one of the Lopez brothers then hit a 3
on the other end,
and that was the game. We never got closer than 8 points.
I think that happened twice in the fourth quarter. I mean, the real moment when it was all over is we got Giannis into foul trouble, and then he went to the bench, and then Middleton went to the bench too, and then they went on a fucking 10-0, they went up 10 points, their second unit against our first unit. It's fucking pathetic. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, the Bruins would never let that happen. The Bruins, they love playing for each other, and they're on the cusp of doing something very special, and it doesn't even feel like that because of how bad the Celtics have been playing. I don't know. That's the Boston Slam part of the conversation. Right? How we're so disappointed about the Celtics not playing as well as they did in the first game of the series that we're starting to sort of it takes the shine off of how good the Bruins are. Bruins have the clearest path. If you look at when the Patriots were about to go into Arrowhead and play the Chiefs,
mm-hmm.
And then whoever they had to face in the Super Bowl after that, we didn't know at the time.
It was not, we did not think they were gonna win. Like we were like, there's a chance that we'll win this game, but its odds are not in our favor.
And when we were going up against a defending champion Astros in the ALCS, the Red Sox, like that 100-win team was just completely stacked. They had like, Verlander and that Jewish third baseman. What's his name? He's like really good and annoying. No. Bregman. Joshua Bregman or something. Alex Bregman.
Joshua Bregman.
Mordecai.
Yeah, no, the Astros were definitely
scary.
Scary, and like you said, they were the defending champs. We weren't. I mean, we were the best team in the regular season, but there were still some holes in our team that we thought, and we were scared about that series. We knew that it could go either way, and a lot of analysts were picking the Astros to win that series. And the Bruins are not going to have another series like that in the playoffs. They will be favored.
Heavily favored.
Home court advantage, and they'll be heavily favored. And their team is really good. I mean, one thing that's similar about the Celtics, though, is that in this series, we call it the perfection line. The first line is Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasta. They didn't show up for games at a time. And then they finally did in Game 5, but that's really it. They only had one game.
Game 4 and 5. Patrice had two goals.
In 4, and then Pasta had 2 goals in 5. Right.
Right, and then
but the Celtics. What did they call our like the R5 that we liked a lot? I forget what the nickname was for the starting 5. Celtics that lineup that we really liked, but whatever it was, they didn't come through, and our bench didn't either. I thought with Marcus Smart coming back last night that could be like he
was so rusty. I saw the highlights I saw his highlights. He was so rusty. He jacked up a couple of horrible air balls.
He hit 1-3 and he had a couple of air balls to go along with it. I mean, Terry Rozier, I'd rather see him out there than Terry Rozier, who's utter garbage.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, number one, the possibility that the Boston Slam is still, right now on Tuesday, it's still possible. And so
we should enjoy it. We should enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because no other city has gotten close.
Yeah, no city has a possibility of it right now. I mean, we're really close. We're a lot more than halfway there. So, and then I guess I want to talk about the future of the Revolution in the event that the Boston Slam doesn't happen. Although maybe we shouldn't talk about that. Maybe we'll save that for another episode.
It's pretty bleak. Donald Trump's probably going to win election again.
Oh God. And finally, what's the I also want to talk about that runner, but let's first of all draw out a path in which the Celtics make a comeback in this series. Here it is. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to do this. In Game 5, Wednesday night in Milwaukee, Giannis gets hurt.
Okay, pretty boring.
But that's it, though. That's the path. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just take over the series. This is probably a bad segment.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like this for the last 3 weeks, though, and people seem to be enjoying your bad segments for some reason.
Wait, what was happening like 4 weeks ago?
We weren't doing a podcast. Good question. Great question.
So you think the whole season 2 has been pretty bad?
No. Just your parts.
In every episode of season 2 so far, you have claimed that it's really bad.
Right. Well, then I had to rescue it with like some really witty banter, which fortunately for you, I have some.
Ready to go right now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be great. This is Max's witty banter, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have it.
Brother,
Do you think that as far as like the Boston Slam goes, it's like actually karmically impossible? Like, have we been chasing a white whale, as it were? You'll like this. Have we been chasing a
I
white
do
whale?
like that. Wow,
Is
that's
it-
a great question. Not witty banter, but actually some good hard content. I like that. Have we been chasing a white whale? Meaning, what I take that to mean is, have we been pursuing something that you can't possibly achieve, and it's hubris to think that you can. Like, what gives us the impression that we could possibly deserve something like that? Like the karma, again, the K word. I want to bring up the K word. Why would we have the karmic points built up to even go after something as lofty as the Boston Slam?
Well, okay. So, but first of all, that's probably not what karma means. But also, I think it's interesting.
Go ahead. Tell me what karma means. Tell us all. Max is going to explain karma now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
going to explain karma. I'm just going to say that Sam, I don't know how you've like outmaneuvered me since this was your tweet about karma, but like I don't. No. But what could a city possibly do to earn 4 major championships in one season, in 1 year?
Are you looking for like a Boston exceptionalist response? Because that's the only thing I can come up with. Is that Boston
right?
is
Like
so exceptional?
if Boston had like legalized, if this were like some, Massachusetts abolished slavery before any other state. We also legalized gay marriage, medical marijuana, and I don't know. That's probably about it, right? But like,
I think, do we have the first universal healthcare?
right, good one. If we had done that all in the same year, right, I would say we had earned 4 major championships. But kamically. But, like it's hard to, maybe there's no way to do this. Maybe there's just impossible. Maybe it is a white whale. Maybe, I mean, like, I first of all, the problem with these karma arguments is it lets the Celtics off the hook for their own shittiness, which I'm loath to do. Like, I want to hold.
So you're saying like
there's some.
it's not even the Celtics' fault they're losing right now because what we're collectively attempting to do is just cannot be done.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't believe that. I think it's possible. But I do wonder, like, why else? You have like a little bit of like, not survivor's guilt, but something like something along the lines of like, what have we done to deserve this title run? I've never heard you talk like this, like really question why we've won 12 championships in the last 19 years, 20 years, or whatever, 12 and counting.
Sam, I think the point is like the fact that like the shine from how well the Bruins are playing is being tarnished by the Celtics is just evidence of how deranged we've become by this success.
Yeah. So are you saying that what? Like we should kind of realize the error of our ways and just kind of say, well, it doesn't matter if the Celtics win or lose because at least we have a great Bruins team to root for right now on their like as like kind of the seas are parting and they're about to like make a really legitimate run for the Stanley Cup. Because if so, then you're just like a coward like Starbuck who tries to talk Ahab out of his relentless pursuit of the white whale, who coincidentally you can't catch and kill. But it doesn't really matter to Ahab if on the route to like finding his Moby Dick showdown, if they're like killing a bunch of whales and like having a really great time. Like there's only one thing that matters, and that's Moby Dick or the Boston Slam. Like sorry. And if you say otherwise, then you're not as hot-blooded as I thought you were.
Samson believed in the Boston Slam, the orgiastic future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch our arms out farther, and one fine morning. So
That's
we
not
beat
Moby
on.
Dick. That's fucking
boats against the
Great
current.
Gatsby.
No shit. But that's what you're doing. Like, you're Gatsby who couldn't enjoy like anything but that, you know, the Boston Slam of his life.
Which
Squandered
is what
it
in that
all.
book? Daisy? What does
Yeah.
Gatsby want?
Daisy Buchanan. I'm just saying, like,
It's much cooler to want like a fucking albino sperm whale than just Daisy Buchanan. And the Boston Slam is even cooler than an albino sperm
Gatsby
whale.
didn't take out a fucking ship full of men who had families.
Yeah. This story's it's small.
Right, but it's a story about like
Well,
innocent
he
people
did-
dying.
Didn't Gatsby he killed someone by accident, right? Didn't he like
Right, yeah,
drunk
but he
drive and
didn't,
they
like-
run someone over?
Yeah. I mean, look, they're not. It's not. I'm just saying, I'm not as like. I'm still pretty hot blooded if I'm willing to run over just a few people. I'm just.
Look, I think Giannis might get hurt, and we are. I mean, or maybe just the Celtics team from Game 1 of this series will just show up in tomorrow night, and we'll pull off this crazy win in Milwaukee. Then we go back to Boston for Game 6, and the crowd is like, at this point we have like fully Marcus Smart who's healthy, and maybe he like gets real big and stuffs Giannis, and the crowd goes totally crazy, and we pull off this Game 6, and then Game 7 anything could happen. Maybe then Kyrie shows up, this Kyrie who we've been waiting for this whole time, and he drops 45 points in Game 7 in Milwaukee. Boom, Celtics advance to Eastern Conference Finals. And
That would be so great if Marcus Smart can shut down Middleton.
yeah,
Wouldn't that be something?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have finally turned the corner. And what if Gordon Hayward just like shows back up? This isn't dead yet, folks. The Boston
Now
Slam
you're-
is still
there
going to
you go.
happen.
There you go. Here we are.
What, we thought that you were going to just like, they were going to hand it to us?
No,
That we just
I didn't
waltz
think
into
that.
the
I
Boston
never
Slam?
thought
No,
that.
we're going to have adversity. You're going to have our back against the wall 3-1 with no one's giving us a chance against Giannis. and the
Nobody
Bucks.
thinks it's possible anymore.
I still believe in the Boston Slam.
Great. I think that's it. I think it's a really good episode.
All right, but what about the runner?
Caster Semana?
Yeah,
Semana?
yeah.
I think this
seems
is a
like
very
there's-
big sports story.
It's a huge sports story, and it seems like it's
It's a
also,
story of medical apartheid in
there's
South
a lot of
Africa.
homophobia, misogyny, transphobia.
Cis. It's really what is it? A cis chauvinism, I think.
And also-
trying to define womanhood as though that's not a performance always.
Right, 100%. And
I think you
also
should
she's-
maybe tell the story as you understand it.
I was sort of hoping you would.
Because you're
I could
afraid of
give it a
saying something terrible.
No, I just don't really. I can just basically, it would sound like this: there is a runner, a black woman of color, lesbian runner, who is extremely dominant and good at running, better than everyone else, her competitors, and they gave her a testosterone test in which she tested higher than what the running coalition, or like the governing body of running, determined was like a
This
normal
was
amount
a
of testosterone
lawsuit,
for a woman.
and as a result of a lawsuit, which this is important, brought by white women in South Africa who thought they were at a competitive disadvantage. So like colonial apartheid, like people whose grandparents were in the apartheid government of South Africa.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That not about necessarily about their grandparents, but that it's white women that brought the suit against her.
Yeah.
So there's an element of
Who
racism.
thought they
here
were
in
at a
addition to-
competitive, not just
Yeah.
racism, but like, I mean, like, I don't think you can put too fine a point on the racism here. This is like sort of the
Right.
same shit that Serena Williams has dealt with throughout her entire career. That
Right.
like she's too big and strong for like the people who's like the bodied like the people. Serena Williams is too big, strong, and black, frankly, to fit the body of a tennis player, and so we want to exclude her. And because she's too good and American, they were never really able to do that with Serena. But they in South Africa, it wasn't as big of a problem, even for this Olympic champion runner.
So they have disqualified her from competing against.
They said unless she takes performance curbing drugs or something.
Oh my God.
They want to put her on drugs to make.
And to be clear, it's not like they've tested her and found exactly that she's on steroids or something like that. It's just her natural testosterone level.
It's who she is.
And testosterone. It's like also got this crazy like echo of like eugenics and pseudoscience of the past, because testosterone is not a scientific indicator of sex or gender. It's like scientists are just like, this is crazy. Like there's a scientific error here in addition to all of the big like prejudice and bigotries that are just like on display here. Which is that like women have testosterone, men have estrogen, and this is like a thing that people didn't realize 40 years ago, but people now absolutely know.
People of all genders and no gender at all have both testosterone and estrogen, and like the names male and female don't.
Can they not test for chromosomes? Like, isn't this just like could they just do a chromosomal test?
Well, I think that gets to the broader question of like who should compete in quote unquote women's sport. We should like get rid of the it's a extremely flawed way of dividing up competition between men and women, because that excludes a shitload of people. And there's always, since the history of humankind, been a spectrum here.
So are you saying that you don't think that there should be women's sports or men's sports?
I don't know. I think that's like an interesting frontier to discuss. But like, I think it's
agreed.
Like, I think chromosomes and like what makes someone a man or a woman is like non-scientific.
Yes, it's culturally like determined, or that's true. And like, basically we are right. I mean, but I don't even, this isn't a slippery slope case. Like, this is the case of a woman who is a woman and defines herself as a woman, just like being excluded from competing against other women because of
a black woman being excluded from competing by white women.
Like a lesbian woman too.
Right. Sure.
Is there anything else that we can say about this?
Just that I would say that like what helped me sort of identify the bullshit here is reading Dorothy Roberts' book Fatal Invention, which is about how black people and the scientific and medical communities have allowed racism to govern the different ways that they treat and conceive of black people for the last 500 years.
Okay. Thanks for the recommendation. All right, brother.
What do you think? Do we have like a real episode here?
Yeah.
We've only been talking for 48 minutes, and I started us over for the entire time. Like halfway. I started us over halfway through, so this is like a 30-minute.
Actually, we're not you didn't start us over. You don't have the ability to start us over. You just said let's start over, but that doesn't. I get to decide.
Okay. Are you gonna listen to everything, or just like sort of like crib it together without any thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Phone Wall Keys, David Ortiz. The dream is still alive with the Boston Slam, at least for tonight. Tune in regardless of what happens, irregardless of what happens next, because we'll be here to either
the next
kind of
steps of the next step, like if the dream for the Boston Slam ends, we'll have to like find some way to go forward, because Trump's gonna probably win the re-election, and then we have some planning to do.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and stay tuned next week. Love you, Max.
Bye, Sam.